there are some effective techniques that I hope I'm able to impart today that will help you become more successful and more empowered and more confident in your networking and building your relationship skills. So, before we get started though, welcome. I want to say that today is a very special day. Does anybody know what today is? And it's not the...
My birthday.
Hey! Yes.
I'm not going to spoil it because I was in a class with you earlier.
Okay,
So I
okay.
won't
Thank
spoil
you,
it.
thank you. Today is National Rubber Ducky Day. It surely is. It's National Rubber Ducky Day, guys. And you know what? Not only is it National Rubber Ducky Day, but the rubber ducky was inducted into the Toy Hall of Fame in 2013. It is only one of 52 toys in the National Toy Hall of Fame. So I thought we would be remiss for me not to bring up National Rubber Ducky Day. Okay? And in the spirit of that, by the way, I love the Wheel of Fortune. I have a special gift for anybody who could come up with this leadership quote first, okay? I don't know if somebody's trying to come in, but it's a quote, and it's said by somebody famous. You'll see the name at the end. So give it your best shot.
If you gather,
You work together, don't you?
You're so close. Anybody?
honey,
If you want
going
together, honey, don't something over
Oh.
the
Kick over.
There you go.
Okay. Dale Carnegie, guys. His famous saying. Who said that, by the way? Anybody? Come on.
I think it's a kick.
Anybody?
Dale Carnegie.
Okay. All right, guys. Nobody's getting the prize. Nobody's going to claim it. Okay. So, learning objectives. Here we go. I have a lot of content in this hour that we're going to be talking today, but I want this to be a dialogue as much as possible, because I know sometimes you guys have been in these sessions all day, you're tired, but to get more out of it, we have to put more into it, so let's really engage. And because I have a lot of content, I might be speeding through. So if there's something in particular that you want to know more about, I am happy to give you that information. So don't be afraid after the presentation to ask me. I can send it to you. By the way, the PowerPoint and that Word Play video will be posted on your internet so you can share with your team. Okay? Quick question. Yes.
I don't know your name. I'm sorry.
Same. I am Nancy Snowboard, and they have been doing this all day now. It's like I'm very Thank you. Okay, so my name is Nancy Snowboard, and just a long one, just call me Nancy. I run a company called Polish, and Polish is all about fine-tuning your soft skills, your interpersonal skills, your emotional intelligence skills. And as we know, your soft skills, your interpersonal skills are the ones that can help propel you to success. More and more people in HR are hiring people with their soft skills over their hard skills or their technical skills. They figure, well, we're interviewing for the job, obviously they have the training and the necessary ability to do the job, but we're more focused on your interpersonal skills. So this presentation focuses a lot on our soft skills, obviously in building and maintaining relationships. So, learning objectives. How to apply communication techniques, we'll talk about that. How to recognize when a prospect is ready to buy. That could be a tricky one, maybe not, maybe so. Understand and use key elements for strong working relationships. And this is my favorite, how to use your interpersonal skills to win business. Okay, we're talking about customer-focused selling today. Back in the day, we had that hard sale, that used car salesman. No offense, we all do jobs well, but they're meant to hard sell, to upsell, to give you things that you don't necessarily need. And people don't really find that appropriate today. They don't want to be sold to. They would much rather have somebody share with them the benefits and the features, but more the benefits. And so we're going to focus on this, and this is a great way when you're focusing on the customer to build that relationship. So we talked about why that is being replaced. So basically, soft selling or being focused with your customer can help you figure out what your customers need by exploring the challenges and how you can help minimize, ease their pain. I don't know if you're familiar with the Sandler selling technique. They use the pain funnel. This is a great way to use the customer-focused approach. So when we take a real interest in our customers, we develop relationships to ultimately want to sell more, help us sell more. Again, people want to do business with people they like. It's plain and simple. So if we can show that we are focused on your needs, that's going to help build that core relationships. So when customers have a choice about who to buy from, they shop with people they like. It's important that your attitude, and that's something that we're going to talk about a lot today, it's all about your attitude. It's all about your energy. It's all about your tonality. People can tell when you're showing authenticity as opposed to, kind of being scripted and going through the motions. So really, when you're passionate about something, it shows your attitude. It radiates. People want to buy whatever you're selling. Have you ever met that salesman who literally sell ice to an Eskimo? That's that person that has the attitude. I love this quote. For every sale you miss because you're too enthusiastic, you will miss 100 because you're not enthusiastic enough. Now, I'm not saying you have to have your Red Bull or your 4 or 5 cups of coffee before you go make that sale. I'm not talking about that enthusiastic and jittery and almost overpowering. I'm just talking about being your authentic self. And believe me, people want to get to know you. They like you. You're there to help them at the end of the day. So show that passion. Continuing with the customer-focused selling approach, it requires consistent work and skill development, believe it or not. People are born with the gift of gab, or maybe tend to know how to sell better than others, but believe it or not, these are learned skills. Everything is learned. You learn to be a leader. You're not born to be a leader. Just with sales, if you can adapt and use these skills effectively, you'll be surprised how much more sales you'll generate. Customers' focus should be applied to every sales opportunity, even if it's a small one. Even when you're picking up the phone and making that that initial phone call, it should be, your attitude should convey that. You want to build that relationship. So whatever the length of the process, you want to employ that customer-focused approach. Now, credibility is huge. People, as I said earlier, they can identify when you're not being genuine, or they think you're a little, maybe too boastful or arrogant. We work with people that kind of emit those kinds of those energies, if you will. But if you're true to yourself and you're credible, that's the first, most important, including your attitude, obviously, in maintaining and building relationships. Body language and the tone of your voice will help them believe in what you're selling. So I want to spend a little time as we go along talking about body language, because believe it or not, that could impede or it could help you, build and maintain a relationship, become stronger in a relationship, and there's ways to do it effectively. First impression goes a long way in establishing your knowledge, your professionalism, your authority. Does anybody have any idea how long it takes to make a first impression? And we're talking not a lot of time here. But in seconds, I'll give you that.
15 seconds?
Lower. 5 to 7 seconds to make a first impression. And really, that is not a lot of time. So what if you're not on your game? Oh. That's not good. It's not good. And sometimes you set yourself back when you're not making that first impression. The tagline of my business is called, "You never get a second chance to make a first impression." Very, it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, that old adage, but it's so true. So you're out there. You're going to build that relationship. You're going to want to know your competition, and I'm sure you know that. Okay, that's part about being, in your toolkit about being a good salesman. Know and how you can counterattack some of the things or the features that they have, or the benefits that you can, if you have same features, the benefits that you can bring forth. Concentrate on your customer and the strength of your own services. Don't worry about, the competition. Know the background, know what's going to work and what's not going to work. But just focus on your strengths, the benefits of what you can bring to your customer. Be the expert. USP, unique selling point or unique selling position, you might have heard that phrase. It's something that you, as the expert, bring to your client. This is in your bag of your toolbox when you're going out and you're going to be making that either it's that early stage call or managing or building that relationship. It's that little point or position that you're in to set yourself as an expert. You want to differentiate your products and services as well. I'll give you an example. Let's say use the car lot example. Let's say you're looking for a car with good gas mileage, and you find two, and you're like, they both have similar features, but the benefits, this one has leather seats, this one has leather seats, this one gets 29 miles to a gallon, this one only gets 18. That's the benefit versus the features. You want to go with, obviously, the one most likely, that gets better gas mileage. But let me ask you all, what is your USP, your unique selling point or position that you use when you're visiting with clients or trying to build a relationship with clients that you use that kind of set yourself apart? Anything that come to mind? I know Workforce Solutions has such a great reputation with your high quality service, and you guys go over backwards in providing the best service. So maybe it's customer service. Yes, sir.
I try to build a relationship with that individual. I try to get to know them as a person. They have kids, they have family. What I've always found is helpful for me is that I build a good relationship with that person and they look at me as a friend. It's hard to say no to a friend.
Love that, love that, love that. And we'll talk about that. That is so great. That is so great. So, kind of getting into, not getting too personal, but finding that
Get
confidence.
kids,
Yeah,
what they do,
right,
and just
right.
act like you like it. They say, oh, I'm in a race car driving,
Right,
okay,
right,
me too, even
right.
though I'm not.
Yes. I like that.
Live in my teeth.
What about the product or the service of Workforce Solutions that distinguishes you from the competition? Yes,
I
sir.
think the industry focus that we all have now too, everybody has either a vertical or many of us have an industry that we're focused on. So you got I would hope instant credibility since you position yourself as the expert in there.
I love it. So it's the reputation and, your credibility, I guess is what you said. Yeah. I mean, when I think of Equifax, and I know I'm not credibility, different from others, I think of credit reporting, but you also offer so much, you go on the website, I learned actually before of all the different services. Anything else? Yes?
I was just going to say, I think you also have to have a good bit of confidence in what you're about, what your company's about, and a good solid knowledge of the product you're conveying to them.
Knowledge, okay. Yeah. What
And
about,
confidence, not cockiness.
yeah, you don't want to be arrogant or boastful, because that can come on. There's a fine line between that. Yes, ma'am?
Well, I cover UC, and we are the experts in the
You
field.
see.
Unemployment.
See, that's a jargon. How about that in one of my classes?
We are the,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
are
you're
the
the
experts in the
leader.
field. And
Okay, well, so you have an advantage, okay, that helps. So maybe you won't struggle so much with your unique selling point or your unique selling. But what about technology? Could that be an edge in which you?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I would think so, yeah. So I just put these down as just food for thought when you're going out there and trying to build relationships. And, these are some little things that you can keep in mind. If you're not taking care of your customer, your competitor will. Very plain and simple, There's enough, I always like to say the pie is big enough for everybody, but if you aren't focusing and providing that high quality service, you may lose some of that slices of the pie. So this is a simple diagram that I just wanted to spend a little bit of time about, share a little bit about, and talk a little bit about, and it actually focuses on what you said about similarities. It's a simple diagram, and basically, what it's about is understanding your efforts versus results. So the more time you put in to really building relationships, the more effort